Today, my friends, is all about winding a bobbin. And how many bobbins do you need to make a quilt top? Well, that could be 2 bobbins, that could be 40 bobbins. But the average quilt top, depending upon how you're putting it together, is going to be about 4 to 6 bobbins. So today, we're going to use the sewing machine to show you how to wind your bobbins in this handy dandy new case that I have. I'm so excited. Let's get started. I have our sewing machine. I've got some bobbins here, and we just picked up this beautiful new case with a lot of the bobbins that fit our machine. So we're going to be able to organize. And how do we do this? Well, every quilt that I do, it seems like I need about 5 bobbins. So it is important before I start that project that I choose this thread that I'm going to use on the top and the bottom of my machine and wind my bobbins. So usually on the top of your machine are instructions. All of them are very, very similar. This is a Singer heavy-duty machine, and I've had several people ask me what model it is. Well, the model of your Singer heavy-duty machine, they all work very, very similarly, and you're going to have the instructions up top. But basically, what engages it to wind the bobbin instead of doing the needle is when you take this piece right here and push it over to this. Now I'll be winding the bobbin. I've got it through the little hole on the bobbin, and now I'm going to hold this up top with my fingernail into my finger as I push the foot pedal to wind the bobbin. Once I have it started, I can let go, and it will continue to wind the bobbin. This top thread up here is no longer needed. You can trim it off now. You can trim it off later. It is fine. And just push the foot pedal. And when the bobbin is wound, it will stop going around or start going very, very slowly. So we have our first bobbin, and this is a nice case. I believe I picked it up on Amazon that I can go ahead and put my thread in here. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across by 5 down. So I can put 5 bobbins of the same colors, of my most popular colors, and that way I don't have to wind them right before I start my project, which I love. And being in this case, they're not going to get wound on each other. They're actually a nice little compartment to keep all of my bobbins straight. So I do not have an item number. I do not sell these, but this is something, if it fits into your repertoire, I do recommend you get it. So let's go ahead and wind our other 4 bobbins to complete the number of bobbins I want to do with this thread. And we're going to take our thread and we're going to poke it through the hole on our bobbin winder spool. And then I'm going to place it down, hold on to the top, pop it over, and press the foot pedal. And just like that, this stopped moving. I know it's full. I can trim our thread off, push it back over, and pull my bobbin up, cut my thread, put it in my case, and start another one. So now, let me go ahead and take the thread off of the machine and show you how I do that one more time. So we have our spool of thread, and it's all wound up. I'm going to stick it on my machine. I like to have a felt piece back here that is a closure. It's nice. I put my brace up here so it doesn't unspool itself. And then I'm going to take my thread through this, and through this. So here, we're taking it through those 2. And see this little roundabout? I take it on this side and I pull it right between the very top and that center part that sticks out. And I'm going to wind it around this, bring the thread back over, grab a bobbin, put it through either the hole or the square, whichever you have. Hold on to the top, place it down on that, holding on to this thread, push it over so it engages, and then I'm going to push the foot pedal. And please, my friends, do not waste your money buying new pre-filled bobbins every time you turn around. Instead, wind your own on your machine. Super easy, and it is a blessing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this has helped you. And what numbers do we know? Well, we know if we're doing a full size to a queen size quilt, we need 5 bobbins. A king size could easily take 6 or 7 bobbins on a domestic sewing machine, depending upon what blocks you're using. So at least start with 5, and that way you don't have to stop and start in the middle of your project to wind more bobbins.